Skylanders, the Toys to Life game franchise that took the hearts of kids all over the globe and the money from their parents' wallets. From the very first game releases of Spyro's Adventure on October 13th, 2011 to the very final installment of the franchise, Skylanders Imaginators on October 16th, 2016, the Skylanders games were an absolute phenomenon, praised by many for its almost groundbreaking invention of the Toys to Life gimmick, spawning an absolute craze for games of similar nature in the mid-2010s, with store shelves everywhere filled to the brim with figures for kids and grown-ups alike to collect and play. For how big it was, the life cycle of Skylanders was, in all fairness, a brief success. 6 games across a 6-year period, releasing annually with a new gimmick in every one. Fans eventually grew tired of it all, especially with competitors such as Disney Infinity and LEGO Dimensions being available as well. The Toys to Life gimmick became very oversaturated very fast, and all of a sudden this huge craze became rather unwanted. People didn't want to buy the expensive toys and games, as the amount of toys available started to become ridiculous almost, with some being almost impossible to obtain at the time, resulting in some characters today costing upwards of $1,000 in the resale market. However, in the decades since the Skylanders franchise came to an end, fans have been clamouring for more content. A 7th game was always spoken about and theorised, but never truly set in stone or ever really hinted at from the developers, and it doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon. But that doesn't mean the Skylanders name and brand has ever truly died, and that is what we will be taking a look at today: the Skylanders content that followed the game series' life cycle. The first and most popular Skylanders related media that we'll take a look at is the Skylanders Academy TV show. This show ran for 3 seasons on Netflix and ran from 2016 to 2018, 2 years after the final game's release date. There were 38 episodes in total, with the final episode, Raiders of the Last Arcus Part 2, releasing on Friday, September 28th, 2018. The show didn't follow the same canonical timeline as the game series, but instead followed its own story, focusing on the likes of Spyro, Stealth Elf and Eruptor, and their encounters with various villains, including, of course, Chaos. The show overall was pretty well received, with the showrunners expressing a want to do a 4th season to run in the year of 2019, but Activision ultimately decided to call it off and cancel the show entirely, as the game series was no longer being released and deemed popular enough for them to want to carry on. But the show did get pretty good ratings overall through its 38 episode run, with 9.2s, 9s, 8.9s and 8.5s across a lot of episodes on IMDb. The next thing that released after the original Skylanders games was a mobile spin-off game, Skylanders Ring of Heroes. This game is a free-to-play turn-based RPG with over 80 Skylanders characters to use in a unique battle game that heavily differed from the main games. The game initially released in late 2018 to early 2019 and used a shard-based summoning system for its characters, taking very similar style and inspiration from a lot of mobile games available at the time, such as Marvel Contest of Champions and other games of that nature. The game did have an overall revamp to its UI and combat system on December 3rd, 2020, branding itself as Ring of Heroes 2.0. The game also removed the shard system that it had, opting to just summon the full Skylanders instead of earning shards. The game unfortunately, however, closed down for good in 2022 due to a lack of player base, making the game a lost artifact that many of the hardcore Skylanders fanbase can only look back on with fond memories, unable to ever be played again. Another piece of Skylanders media was the Spyro and Friends comic book series. The Skylanders comics were a thing dating all the way back to 2014, with Trap Team's initial release, and continued on until Superchargers related comics were released until 2016. However, a separate short-lived series of comics called Spyro and Friends was released in 2017, with 7 installments with the following titles: Full Blast, Gold Slinger, Chomped, Try and Try Again, Arbor Day, Mirror Mirror, and Biting Back. The final comic in this series, Biting Back, was published March 7th, 2018, again, just like the Skylanders Academy show, 2 years after Imaginators' initial release date. These comics are again new original stories for people to read and enjoy Skylanders in another unique style, expanding their knowledge and fandom of the series. Final piece of the Skylanders post-game puzzle is merchandise. Of course, merchandise was everywhere when the games were popular, but it never truly died like the games did. People were still releasing stuff all of the time. Many different brands and shops would always sell Skylanders related merchandise, but one of the most popular being the U2's merchandise. U2's is a very well known company. They make a lot of plushies, figurines, pins, stickers and a lot more for all types of games, movies, TV shows, YouTubers, sportsmen, stuff like that. They do everything, which means of course at some point they had to do some Skylanders merch as well. They've released 7 different plushies, 2 of those being Chop Chop and Drobot, which haven't actually been released yet but will be available for purchase very, very soon. Previous plushies such as Spyro, Stealth Elf and Gill Grunt, which I'm proud to say I own, are sold out now and only available via resellers, which means that the price will be ridiculously inflated. However, there is a Pop Fizz plush which is still available on the website for the next 2 weeks, so get buying while you have time. PS, it's literally my birthday like tomorrow, so if anybody wants to buy me the Pop Fizz plush, you know, that would be appreciated. But the website also has done many amazing vinyl figures, 6 of those in total, with T-Rex, Trigger Happy and Eruptor being some of the ones available. But these were the closest things available for Skylanders fans to get new Skylanders toys. The first time in over a decade we had physical Skylanders toys. You couldn't put them on the portals, you couldn't play with them the same way, which was obviously a huge disappointment, but it was still something for the true fans that never left to get their hands on Skylanders merchandise again and get that feeling of joy, that childlike nature back in their lives, the thing that they've craved and wanted for so long. Skylanders back on their shelves. But that is all I have to discuss today. I hope you guys enjoyed this brief little video on Skylanders after the Skylanders game series ended. To any Skylanders fans out there, welcome to the channel. I haven't uploaded in a very long time, but hopefully I'm back for good now. Let me know your favourite Skylander and Skylanders game in the comments below. Subscribe if you are new and enjoyed the video. Hopefully I'll see you for the next one. And for all you Portal Masters out there, take care. Goodbye.